Brainrot games have taken over the world, especially on Roblox, and many are saying these games make you dumber. So today, I played 100 Brainrot Roblox games to see if I got dumber. How will I test this? Well, before this challenge, I took an IQ test and got a score of 100. And after every 25 games, I'll do the test again to see if I'm getting dumber over time. And we're starting with the least popular game, Build a Brainrot Factory, and we'll be getting more popular as the video goes on. This game is exactly what you're thinking. You have a factory and sell Brainrot for money. After getting some money, I extended my factory, which literally just made it worse and took longer to get money. Wait. So it seems like I was already getting dumber, meaning it was time to move on. In this game, a bunch of poorly drawn Brainrots go down this conveyor belt and you're just trying to get the best one. Or you can also steal it from other players. I tried stealing from another player, but they locked me in their base and started beating me up. So I made it my goal to steal at least one Brainrot, which seemed easy, but just as I was about to get to my base, that same player started attacking me. No, that's not even their base. Oh my god, I'm getting bullied by a child. But after trying again, I successfully stole from another player. So let's move on to the next game. Game 98 was a simple game about hatching and selling Brainrot. Game 97 was just grow a garden but with Brainrots instead. And then we have Game 96. Find a Dolphinita Bonita and smack it, or whatever you say. No idea what that means, but in this game you have a hammer and have to smack Brainrot to collect it. The Brainrots give you money and you can also get more strength over time, which helps you get better Brainrots. Somehow, only 5 games in, I was already getting tired of Brainrot games. All these games are so repetitive, and I feel like they all look the same too. Like they all have this stud texture, I swear. But I kept going, smacking more Brainrot, getting more strength, and building up my Brainrot collection, and I ended up with a pretty decent base. In this game, you collect Brainrot and have them race around your plot. Once you complete a lap, you get money which you can use to get better Brainrots. Yo, they make a Brainrot game on anything. You can also upgrade your Brainrot, so I got the max level on my current Brainrot. Went out to buy another and did the same thing. And then while I was working on my third Brainrot, I noticed this player following me around and watching me. And he ended up giving me a legendary Brainrot, which gave me $65,000 per lap compared to my Brainrots which gave me $100 per lap. After a few laps, I became a Brainrot millionaire in like 5 minutes, which seemed like the perfect ending. In this game, they read the name of that Brainrot and you have to guess correctly which one it is. Every correct guess gets you more planks on your bridge. First to make it to the end wins. However, I ended up struggling. What does that mean? This one. Oh my god, bruh. What does that mean? Luckily, I got a few right from guessing, but it wasn't going good. I've never felt more lost in a Roblox game, I think, than I am right now. I was so lost. I just started cheating, but somehow still lost. It seems like I was getting dumber. And remember, at every 25 games, I'll be doing the IQ test again. So stay tuned and we can see if I actually was. Game 93 was a game in which you use plants to fight off waves of Brainrots, which I quickly failed at. All you do in Game 92 is slingshot Brainrot, and Game 91 was all about catching Brainrots and traps. In this game, you pick between 2 Brainrots, then both sides fight it out. And this game was pretty rough for me. Which Brainrot is the best? Among Us or Shrek Harvey? Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I don't care. I straight up just don't care, bruh. I'll just pick this, I guess. I ended up picking the majority, so the fight was pretty easy. Bro, I'm 20 years old playing a what's the better Brainrot game. Where did it all go wrong? Besides me going through it, I played another round, once again picking the majority. So the fight was easy. I even managed to get a kill myself. Even though I was down, the next few games changed everything. In this game, you buy crates which contain Brainrot and use a crusher to unlock the crate. We got a tung sahur. I was slowly working, upgrading my base, and for some reason, maybe because the game was different, I found myself actually having fun. Why am I low-key enjoying this? Eventually, I had one more Brainrot salt left, so I bought a $1 million crate with my Robux, and got a legendary Brainrot, leaving me with a pretty solid roster of Brainrot. In this game, you go against another player. Both of you choose a Brainrot and your goal is to figure out what Brainrot the other player chose. I'm gonna pick 6-7. You typically do this by asking the player questions, but it seemed like this player couldn't chat, so I decided to just guess blindly. Alright, I'm just gonna try voting. There's no way. Yeah, I somehow won just guessing blindly. Maybe I was getting smarter. When I joined this game, I wasn't expecting this. Oh wow, there's a cutscene? Yeah, this game had fully animated cutscenes, however, the gameplay is literally just you trying to get up this long ramp, with the jumps getting harder the deeper you go. I'm not gonna lie, the animated intro had me excited. I thought we were gonna get like a high quality game, but instead all I'm doing is jumping. Despite my disappointment, I had one goal, make it to the end. And luckily I ran into this player, Leo, and both of us started working together, getting further and further. We never even spoke to each other, but developed a proper system. Yo, Leo, I'll never leave this guy behind. See, look at that, he just helped me again. And I go back down and I help him. It's a good system. We use the system every time and it worked. And eventually, we made it. No! Oh my god, yes! But obviously, I'm not gonna finish, I gotta go back for him. Alright, let's go, let's win this together. And that's exactly what we did. Yes, we did it! Game 86 was a Brainrot tower defense game. Game 85, you're being chased by Brainrot and have to survive, which I failed pretty quickly at. Game 84 was a simple lobby but with Brainrot. And in Game 83, you punched through walls, which after buying the tung sahur gloves was easy for me. This game was pretty simple. You just walk around the map looking for Brainrots. Once you collect them, you morph into them. My goal was to find 10, and honestly, it wasn't that bad. 9 out of 89, I just need one more. I quickly found the last one, so I moved on to... Alright, let's draw some Brainrots. The first Brainrot I had to draw was a shovel thing, and it didn't go well. I got an A for that? They're lying. Next up, I was trying to draw Tung 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 Sahur, but as you can see, I'm not the best at this. And my final drawing looked questionable. It looks great though, right? Don't answer that. Not gonna lie, actually a pretty fun game. This was another guessing game, but unlike last time when I struggled, since I played so many of these games now, I actually knew the answers. I kept going, not even failing once. It's kinda sad that I know all these now. In this game, you collect blobs to grow bigger, but other players can also eat you. The goal is to survive and become the biggest player. If I hear the words Tung 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 Sahur one more time, I feel like I'm actually just gonna go buy Tung 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 Sahur in the shop. Why is it always Tung 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 Sahur? Instead of growing Brainrots like the other game, in this game you grow actual crops to feed Brainrots. The Brainrots give you money over time, and the better the Brainrot, the more pay. I grew a tomato and fed it to my Brainrot. In this game, you collect different parts of Brainrots and have to build them, so that's what I did, building Brainrot after Brainrot. After collecting a few, I made it my goal to build a Tung 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 Sahur, because why not? I first collected the head, all I need now is the body. And after waiting a while, finally, I had done it, and ended with a pretty decent base. This game ended up being the same one we already played. Oh wow, that's literally the exact same thing. You collect blobs to grow bigger and try to become the biggest Brainrot. Before we play this game though, as a reminder, at every 25 games I'll be doing the IQ test again to see what's happening over time, and this didn't go as expected. I started with an average IQ of 100, and now my IQ was an above average 113. After 25 Brainrot games I somehow got smarter. This is my reaction after the test. Wait, how did they get higher? After 25 games, I'll also be spinning the wheel of challenges, which gives me a random challenge I must follow for the next 25 games. And it looks like I'll have to gift a player in every game if possible. Anyways, back to the game. This is Poop a Brainrot. We literally poop Brainrot. I can't believe I'm playing this game. After a bit, I sold all my Brainrot for $2 million. Then pooped another Brainrot which I gifted to a player as part of my challenge. This was another guessing game where every correct guess gets 2 blocks, and you try not to drown. I used to struggle at these games, but now that I've played so much Brainrot games, I was getting every question right. It's kinda sad, I'm actually good at these games now. I literally made it to the final round and didn't die once. This game was an FPS Brainrot zombie game. You and a team of players are fighting off rounds of zombies and Brainrots, while also trying to defeat the Brainrot boss coming at you. After a bit, my team easily took down the boss. This game also didn't have a gifting feature, so I got lucky. In this game, you scroll through Brainrots and try collecting the best ones. So I'm watching Brainrot in Brainrot while my brain rots. They also had a gift feature, so I gifted a player a bundle. Not only am I playing 100 Brainrot games, but now I was also losing money. I scrolled through more Brainrots, got some upgrades, and ended with a pretty decent base. Game 71 was a game where you level up and morph into different Brainrots. Game 70 was all about mining for lucky blocks and getting Brainrots, and Game 69 was all about climbing. In this game, 2 Brainrots are spinning on a rope bridge and you have to get to the other side, which was super easy, it took me like 20 seconds. That's it? Can't read the closest Brainrot. In this game, a wave of police come and it's your goal to get Brainrots back to your base and not get caught. I first got a pippy potato, whatever that means, upgraded it, then went out to get more Brainrots, and upgraded all of them yet again. The goal of this game is to jump off a mountain as a Brainrot and break as many bones as possible. The more bones broken equals more money. I feel like I've done everything now. I've collected Brainrots, killed Brainrots, punched Brainrots, guessed Brainrots. Like literally every concept that you can imagine they've done with Brainrots is insane. Little did I know at the time, but I was just getting started. The games only get weirder from here. I kept playing, jumping off again and again. I also gifted a player 6-7 Brainrot, then went back to jumping. Eventually, I had enough money to buy the next Brainrot, Tung 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 Sahur, and completed my last jump with him. Instead of collecting Brainrot in this game, you collect lucky blocks, which give you random Brainrot. What, so I'm just gambling now? After collecting a few, I was on to my last 4 slots. 4 at once, let's go. Oh, we got an epic. And just like that, I had a full brace of Brainrots. The next game was pretty similar to a game we've already played before, where you're chased by Brainrot and have to survive. Then game 63 was all about hatching and mutating Brainrots. In this game, you just keep rolling, hoping to collect rare Brainrots. More gambling? That's really it. You just sit there and roll. But somehow, after a few rolls, I got a chimpanzee Banini, which was a 1 in 100,000 chance. Did I seriously just get that lucky? As expected, in this game you fish for Brainrot. The more rare, the more money you get. After collecting my first few Brainrots, I had a plan to steal a Brainrot from someone else, and eventually found a base with a mythic Brainrot. Wait, this guy's a mythic Brainrot, he's nowhere to be seen. I'm actually taking it. And just like that, all of a sudden I was earning way more money. Wow, wait, that's a crazy Brainrot to steal. My normal ones gave me 23 a second, this gives me 7.1k. I then fished a couple more Brainrots, collected all the money, and just like that, I was a Brainrot millionaire yet again, but this time not so legit. In this game, every step you take you get faster, and there's also obstacles you can complete to unlock upgrades. By this point, 40 games in, I was getting so tired. I'm so tired, I can't lie. I'm not even halfway through. But remember, in just 10 more games, I'll be doing the IQ test again, and we can find out if I'm actually getting dumber. After unlocking a couple more Brainrots and getting faster, I moved on to the next game. This game was pretty weird, because instead of collecting Brainrots as per usual, you had to shoot them and collect them. Almost every single game I feel like so far has been like the same formula, obviously, and they just changed like a couple of concepts to make it unique. As you can tell, not only was I getting tired in general, but I was also getting sick of how similar the games were starting to feel. Despite this, I kept going, collecting more Brainrots, and then got a new gun which I used to get more Brainrots. Also, a lot of games haven't had the gift feature, so I've been getting lucky. But remember, after 9 more games I'll have to introduce a new challenge. This game was like one of those mobile game ads you've probably seen. You run through these walls to multiply your army, and in the end, defeat a boss or something. I feel like this game was made for like 2-year-olds. By the way, if you made it this far, please subscribe and like. And try to predict in the comments how much times I said the word Brainrot in this video. In this game, you just break open crates for a random Brainrot. I kept opening crates till all my slots were full, and the best thing I got was a rare Brainrot. Didn't get lucky this time. Right when I joined this game, someone sent me a trade request. Already? Someone wants to trade? And this ended up being pretty insane. What? How much is that? And just like that, I became a billionaire in 30 seconds of joining. What just happened? I swear I just joined this game. Like, I didn't even get through the tutorial, still on the screen. I used this money to buy the best Brainrot, and the game definitely didn't expect this. So I'm supposed to only get 200 for the tutorial, but I'm getting 148 million instead. I think I broke the game. Yeah, this was crazy. This game is about mixing Brainrots and seeing what combinations you get. After doing my first combination, I realized something weird about this game. Did a 99% sale, so everything is 1 Robux. Yeah, for some reason everything in the shop was 1 Robux, so I bought 10 of the rarest eggs, which gave me a bunch of rare Brainrot, which I then combined to make even rarer Brainrots. In this game, you just dig, which gives you coins, which you can then use on upgrades and more. There's so much going on the screen, I feel like overstimulated. After upgrading my pickaxe, I got a new objective. Tung Sewer. What's going on in this game? Somehow though, all these weird games give me energy to keep going. Honestly, all these like weird games in a row have kind of given me my energy back, I feel like. I can do the next 50. Maybe I was going insane. In just 4 more games, I'll be doing the IQ test again, so stay tuned to find out. The next game number 53, was just about collecting Brainrots without waking up other Brainrots. Game 52 was another similar game, but instead you're trying to collect Brainrots before a log comes and crushes you. And game 51 is about merging and combining Brainrots to make more Brainrots. We officially made it to the halfway point, which means it's time to check my IQ again. As a reminder, I started at 100, went up to 113, and now it was 105. Oh my god, I'm actually getting dumber. So it is higher from the start, but it's still lower than it was last time. Like way lower. It's not looking good for me, especially considering this is only halfway. After every 25 games, not only am I checking my IQ again, but I also spin this wheel for a new challenge. And it looks like for the next 25 games I must play in first person only. This game didn't allow first person, but all you do is work out as Brainrots, getting stronger and also becoming new Brainrots. Game 49 was a Brainrot fighting game. In game 48, you have to survive while another player shoots at you. And I died in like 10 seconds. Game 47, you're just trying to collect the most land as possible while avoiding getting killed. This game is exactly what it says. You shred Brainrot. As per usual, they give you money which you use to get more Brainrots. Eventually, I got a rare box and just threw it into my shredder, thinking that's how you open it. And then it disappeared. What? Clearly my brain was rotting. The next few games were weird. Game 45 was just about crafting Brainrots. Game 44 was an obby, but you also fight Brainrots at the same time. And then game 43 was a game about kicking Brainrots, but you kick them for a different effect. This was a standard game where you get baby Brainrots, grow them, and try to get better Brainrots. By this point, my morale was at an all-time low. I thought the most annoying part would just be, playing 100 games, but the most annoying part actually is just the fact that they're all the same. Like, all the concepts and everything just feel the exact same. And to be fair, I wasn't wrong. All of these games have the same look and use the same stud texture, and most of them are just the same concept slightly changed, but I still had so much to go. Plus, I was getting so tired I forgot about the first person challenge, but luckily I continued for the next games. This was literally your standard Brainrot game but with the Halloween theme, because for some reason it's spooky. Instead of stealing Brainrots from other players, in this game you steal Brainrots from Brainrots. After stealing a few Brainrots, this player came up to me and gave me a strawberry elephant. It's worth 58 billion? Yeah. In a few minutes, I literally had enough money to unlock everything and beat the game. So that's what I did, unlocking every single base. Wow, we beat the game. That might be a world record. Just like that, I thanked the player and was off to my next game. In this game, you have to avoid Brainrots while collecting blocks, and then use the blocks to build a bridge to escape. It seems like I was getting dumber because at the start I did not understand the concept at all. Yeah, it might be dumb, I actually don't understand how this game works. Eventually I figured it out and collected some blocks, but then got overconfident and got killed by a Brainrot. This was another standard Brainrot game where you dig for Brainrot eggs, hatch them and try getting the best Brainrot. It's all the same. This was another gambling type game where you roll trying to get better Brainrots. I got bored of this game quick, but when I went to leave I realized something crazy. Wait, if you try leaving, they offer you better stuff? That's crazy. This is embarrassing to admit, but it worked. I kept playing to open the rare dice even though I didn't care, and I ended up getting some pretty rare Brainrots. Then I actually left. Game 36 was another where you fight out ways of Brainrots, and then game 35 was another similar one where you chase by Brainrots, and it didn't end here. We literally played this exact same game before. Yep, another game where you pick your favorite between two Brainrots. Like, I straight up just couldn't care less. Could you tell I was getting sick of these games? All you do in this game is fight different Brainrots. Wow, I'm having so much fun. In this game, you collect Brainrots and put them in a jail cell. So it's just steal a Brainrot, but with jail cells. By this point, I also realized I might have made a big mistake. I just had a realization. This whole video I'm doing like least popular to most popular. The least popular games just steal from the more popular games. So as I'm getting more into the video, I'm just getting more of the same stuff. I honestly felt like I was going crazy after all these games. And very soon I'll be doing the IQ test again, so we can see if I was actually getting dumber after all this. Game 31 and Game 30 were more of the same, stealing Brainrots and morphing into Brainrots. This game was all about shooting Brainrots to collect them, and for some reason at this point, my motivation and energy came back. I just got a wave of energy out of nowhere. Like, I just realized how close I am. I feel like I can do this now. This game was kind of like a playground game. You spawn in as much stuff as you want to fight off Brainrot. Pretty simple, but once again, my morale and mood is better out of nowhere. I feel like this is the first game that actually looks different. I don't know if I'm going crazy, but this is the first time that a game looks like normal and doesn't have that Brainrot look. I don't know if that makes any sense. By this point, I might have actually been going crazy. In just 3 games, I'll be doing the IQ test again, so we'll find out. This was another standard game where you collect Brainrot, but this time by stabbing them, which was kinda weird. This game was a game where you hatch eggs for Brainrots. For some reason, it took me a while to even figure out what to do. Wow, it took me like 30 seconds to figure out where to put the eggs. I think I'm getting dumber. Speaking of getting dumber, it's now been another 25 games, meaning it was time to do another IQ test. As a reminder, I started with 100, went up to 113, then down to 105, and now 107. Okay, so a little bit higher than last time, and still higher than from the start. But there's still 25 games to go, and one final IQ test. This game here was your standard Brainrot game, the same as usual. In this game, you train your Brainrots and race them. So after training my Brainrot for a bit, I entered my first race, and for some reason, no one else raced me, so I managed to win. How did I win? This was a simple game where you click to earn jumps, trying to get as high as you can, and knowing I was approaching the end, this is how I felt about it. I should probably grind this game, but I'm at a point where I just don't care. This was another one where you hear the sound and have to guess the Brainrot. We're back to this. And since I've played so many of these games by now, I was streaming through it. I've played 70 Brainrot games, I know what I'm doing. I was doing so well, I started to realize how sad this was. People my age are out partying, and I spent all my time learning every single Brainrot. But it didn't matter, because I was going through every level with ease, not getting a single one wrong, until I eventually did. I just went through almost 30 without getting one wrong. I played way too much Brainrot. At the start, I couldn't even get one right. What does that mean? But now, it was like second nature. This was just Steal a Brainrot but meant for 2 players, however, I played alone. This game was about creating an army and trying to take over as much land as possible while also defending it. In this game, you start gathering Brainrots before the lava gets you. I got my first Brainrot and upgraded it a bunch, and then when collecting my second Brainrot, I just barely missed on the lava. Game 18, you jump off a tower trying to get as far as possible. Game 17, you click to gain speed and complete obstacle courses, which I beat in my first try. Game 16 was yet another quiz, and as you know by now, I'm an expert, so it was easy. This was your standard Brainrot game, where you collect and steal Brainrot, and it ended up being one of the most confusing games, but not for the reason you think. Wait, how is this one of the most popular Brainrot games on the entire platform? It's literally just steal a Brainrot. It would make sense if it had like 10 million visits, but this game has over 100 million visits, and it's just the exact same game. Yeah, pretty weird. Earlier, a player was beating me up, so I got revenge by unlocking someone's base and stealing a Brainrot. This game ended up being the exact same one as we already played, where you try stealing Brainrots without getting caught. In this game, you get Brainrots from Lucky Blocks, but then can trade them for sometimes better or worse. It's your goal to get a good deal. After doing my first trade, this laid in I was actually enjoying the game. Why is this kind of fun? So I kept doing some more trades and ended up with a pretty decent Brainrot. This was yet another guessing game, just more of the same. This game you hatch Brainrots that fish for you, but something fell off. Wait, I swear I've been on this exact same map before. Like, literally the exact same. I kept playing some more, but I felt so confused. Have I played this game before? I wasn't going crazy though. Game number 26, My Brainrot Egg Farm, was the exact same thing. Same concept, same exact map, same everything. The only thing that switched was the fishing part. So before, the game concepts were the same, but now I've reached a point where the games are literally the exact same thing. But with that, we're on to the final 10 games, and the current 10 most popular Brainrot games on Roblox. This was your typical tower defense game. You fight off waves of enemies with your Brainrots, and try to make sure the enemies don't make it to the end. I've definitely played this concept before already, which is kind of funny. Now that we're in the top 10, I might not even get like a concept that I haven't played. I placed a max amount of Brainrots, and then spent the rest of my time just upgrading all my Brainrots, making them stronger. But when I got to wave 15, oh no, it wasn't looking good. I tried to place a Brainrot to stop it, but it was over. I lost. This was just a plaza game for you to advertise and trade Brainrots you have from other games. In this game, you lost our Brainrots and battle them to catch them. You can also feed the Brainrots, getting upgrades and more. In this game, you collect Brainrot, which all make a unique sound. Combining them together makes a song, which seems fine, but after playing over 90 Brainrot games, I couldn't handle the constant noise. After 100 Brainrot games, the last thing I want to hear is Brainrot singing. And the more I played, the worse it got. Oh my god, I wish these Brainrots would shut up, but I feel like I can't mute the game. The whole point of the game is this. Eventually, I got so sick of it that I spent all my money on eggs, hatched them all, and this ended up being my final song. Once again, this is like my third time playing this exact same game. Another game where you try stealing Brainrots without getting caught. After getting my first 2 Brainrots, a player came up to me and gifted me a crazy Brainrot. 9.3 billion? Yeah, and from this point on, it felt like there's nothing left to do. I feel like I beat the game. This was a simple game where you go around collecting Brainrots, trying to collect and find them all. By this point in the challenge, this is how I was feeling. I can't explain to you how excited I am knowing that in 5 more games or 4 more games, I don't have to play a Brainrot game ever again. I've played so many of these games that I'm actually so ready to just never play them ever again. Yeah, and also very soon we'll be finding out my final IQ and see the true effect of all 100 games. Wait, I played this before too. Yeah, I played a copy of this earlier. But essentially, you go around eating fruits and such to level up, and once you level up, you become a new Brainrot. I started off as a shark, leveled up a few times, and ended as Berber Patapim. This game has taken over Roblox recently, already becoming the 3rd most popular Brainrot game. In this game, waves of tsunami constantly come, and it's your goal to collect Brainrots before the tsunami comes and kills you. After collecting some Brainrot, I tried getting a lucky block but died to the wave. So I went to try and get the lucky block again, but died yet again. So I went back for the 3rd time, and a player came and just took it. There's no way that just happened. So it became my goal to just get any lucky block. I collected this one and survived the first wave, and ran just barely making it. I then opened the lucky block, getting my best Brainrot yet. In this game, you use plants to fight Brainrots. Once you kill a Brainrot, you collect it. And the better it is, the more money you get, which you can use to get better plants and more. After playing for a bit, I accidentally came 2nd place in a competition that gave me $100,000, so I used that to get better plants, then to equip my best Brainrots. And it was time for the final game. We finally made it. Oh my god. 99 games later, we're in the biggest Brainrot game in the world. Steal a Brainrot, of course. And to celebrate, I just went around stealing Brainrots from anyone, and taking anything even if I didn't need it. And before I realized, I quickly had a full set of Brainrots. And now it was time for the final IQ test. As a reminder, I started with 100, peaked at 113, and finally ended with the IQ of 102. Oh my god. We're back down to way lower, and we're only 2 points higher than the start. In the end, I didn't get dumber by playing 100 Brainrot games, somehow smarter. But this challenge made me realize something. There's so much slop on Roblox right now, and so many of these games are just the exact same thing. Maybe the true reason why people say old Roblox was better was because back then there was less slop and more passion, making it easier to find good games. But now, all the slop and Brainrot has taken over, making it impossible to find a good game. The sad truth is, there's never been more talented developers and good games out there, but they're buried behind all these Brainrot games. The games didn't end up making me dumber, it only made me realize how much Roblox has changed, and will never be the same. And the quicker you realize that, the more you'll enjoy it.